I put makeup on just for this date, so it better go well. And I'm not posting this probably if it doesn't.
Most of the videos that I comment or react to are sent to me by my followers, and this particular one is probably the one I've gotten the most requests to do a reaction to. So I thought I would go ahead and do that, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably not the reaction most of my followers or many people would have. But before I get into it, let's see what else she has to say.
It did not go well. Truthfully, it lasted less than 2 minutes. I walked up, he gave me a hug and said, "Are you hungry? Let's go inside." We went inside. He said, "Actually, can you step outside for a minute?" I stepped back outside and he said, "I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just not feeling it." So I walked to my car and came back home.
All right, let me start off by saying that I genuinely feel bad for this young woman. She put herself out there and ended up getting rejected. It's not going to feel good, not for her or anyone in that situation. And I have to say, unfortunately, she chose to put what happened out online, and sadly, many people are attacking her for it, calling her vicious names, making comments on her appearance, and basically saying she deserved what happened to her. I couldn't disagree more with that mindset. No one deserves to be treated like that. And yes, I get that what happened to her happens to men every single day. We face rejection from women time and time again throughout our lives. But that doesn't give us reason or validate us attacking her for it happening to her. Instead, our response should be compassion and understanding, and to use this as an opportunity to educate, which is exactly what I'm about to do. Because, ladies, I've also seen your comments on her video, the ones where you're telling her she's an awesome person and didn't deserve what happened to her, which I actually agree with. And that's all well and good, but it's a pretty safe assumption that most of the women making those comments and telling her she didn't deserve it have done the very same thing to men. The fact of the matter is, today's modern women have made a national sport out of putting men down, mocking them, ridiculing them, not just for who they are, but largely based on their appearance. Hell, spend 5 minutes in my comments and you'll see the insults hurled at me, claiming I'm an incel or pointing out that I'm bald. Yet the women in her comments are appalled that a young man chose to not continue a date after seeing her, after meeting her. A young man who, I have to say, handled this in a manner that was quite professional and showed a lot of class. Rather than lead her on or let her think that maybe there was going to be a future, he made it very clear up front that there wasn't one, that he wasn't feeling it. By her own account, it sounds like he tried to let her down as gently and easily as he could. And there's nothing wrong with that. He didn't put her down. He didn't demean her. He just simply said it's not going to work. And what's interesting is that rarely happens to men. In fact, the more likely case is that they're going to get rejected and turned down by being made fun of, by being told, "How dare you approach me?" or "What makes you think you're good enough?" Virtually every man has faced that scenario. And that's a lesson, ladies, you should take to heart. Because if you feel sorry for this woman, and you should, you need to look in the mirror and ask yourselves about how the way you've treated men who've approached you or tried to date you. You need to put yourself in the position of the men that you've hurled insults at online, calling them things like incels or mama's boys, or making comments about their physical appearance. Because the disconnect that most of today's modern women have is that they can feel sorry for a woman that happens to, while they laugh and mock a man who feels bad when he gets attacked. It speaks to the double standard that today's modern women have. Well, ladies, judge not, lest you be judged. Can you honestly say to yourself that you haven't done worse than what that man did? The majority of you, if you're being honest, will have to admit you have. Though we all know that taking accountability for a woman is like kryptonite to Superman. The takeaway from it all is this: we all need to treat each other better. We need to stop hurling the insults and putting each other down. And we need to hold each other accountable, just like I did to the guys that are putting this poor young woman down in her comments. Something you never see women do to other women when they make comments on videos like mine. And I want to conclude by saying to this young woman, I'm genuinely sorry that happened to you. I've had it happen to me in the past. It's not fun. It doesn't feel good. But like me, you have to learn to deal with rejection because it is part of life. It is going to happen. And yes, some of it is vicious. But in this particular case, I genuinely feel that the young man did his best to let you down as easily as he could. Hopefully you'll take that to heart and realize that somewhere out there is your match, is your person. And sometimes you have to deal with some rejection in order to find them. It's what I had to do. It's what so many others have had to do. Yes, it sucks, but it is part of life.